All right, welcome back to Awesome Financials Podcast. My name is Austin.
Susie.
And today we're talking about 3 business credit cards that don't require your personal credit to get started, kind of. And I'll explain that sentence in a minute. So if you're a business owner and you're looking to build or expand with business credit, you're trying to build and scale, right? You want to use business credit, but you don't want to heavily rely on your personal credit profile. These 3 EIN-only cards some call them game changers. They are useful. They have some use. So we're going to go over 3 that we've seen. We're going to give you our take on them, what we think about it, and give you some insight from us as business funding experts. And so what card do you want to start with first?
We'll do the Nav Prime Charge Card.
Okay. All right. Let's go for it.
So the Nav, and I can speak from personal experience with this because we got it for our business. But essentially, it reports 2 trade lines to your business credit.
All right.
Okay. So if you are looking to build business credit as well as have a credit card, then this is the one for you because it reports 2 trade lines to your credit.
Nice.
Are they
both vendor trade lines?
Yeah. They're vendor trade lines, but they themselves are the vendor, Nav Prime.
Sure.
Yeah.
So one's financial, one vendor.
Yeah. And then also, though, it does require proof of income. So most likely they'll want you to link your bank account. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about business bank account.
Yes.
So your business does have to be cash flowing. Okay. And the credit limit is honestly determined by your bank activity. Mm-hmm. So if you have...
Not your credit score.
Exactly. It's how well money's coming into the account and how well money is being kept in the account, right? Yes. Because you can make $50K a month, but if $49K are going out, then obviously it's not a good look. So the only way to tell and know what the limit would be is if you link your account and they can see the activity on it.
Nice.
It does report to the major business bureaus, especially the Experian Business bureaus, which is the one that they pull the most when you go to banks or when you're trying to apply for anything under your business. So the Experian is the most popular, one that they pull. So that's a plus.
Yep.
It does cost $49.99 a month because it reports the 2 trade lines. So it's kind of like it does 2 things at the same time, right? It gives you access to funds, but not only that, it also reports 2 trade lines. So hence the $49.99 a month, which honestly, it's a no-brainer if you're trying to build business credit and not trying to get all these net 30s and all these other things that normally you'd have to get if you're trying to build business credit. Yes.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I like Nav. They have a lot of great products. We're partners with Nav too, I believe.
Yes,
personally.
for sure.
So we'll put a link in the description for people to see more of their products and all the cards that we're mentioning. We'll put links in the description so you can access them.
Yep.
But big fan of Nav. If you're gonna pick one, that's why we started with Nav. You want to go with Nav. I think Nav is one of the best ones. This next one is really, really popular. We hear a lot about it, and it's Capital on Tap. Now, Capital One, there's Capital One. There's another one that's like Capital One knockoff. What is it
Capital.
called? I forgot what it's called. Capital One. No, there's Capital One. There's
One else. Bank.
Bank. I think
maybe
you're
Bank. Confusing it with One Bank.
I think
Terrible
One Bank.
By the way.
But they they have the same logo, which is kind of funny. But no, Capital on Tap. They're decent. I've heard a lot of great things about them. It's just the qualifications, the specs are a little ambiguous. Some people say one thing, some say other. It depends on the experience you have. But Capital on Tap, they offer up to 50,000 unsecured business credit, which is fantastic, right? So that right there is automatically huge. For some people, you don't really need more than 50K in business funding. So you could get something there, which is great. Now remember, these are all EIN-only based, or they're supposed to be based. This is the reason why we say EIN-based, okay?
Yeah.
So they're EIN-based, but they do require a soft pull on your personal credit profile. So that it doesn't impact your score, obviously, but
it's like they want to take a peek.
Yeah, if you don't have extensive history within your business, they're going to want to take a look and see, like, hey, So the best way to go about it is if your business has been going and it's been doing well, then perfect. Then they'll rely less on your personal credit,
right?
But they might take a peek over there to help you qualify just in case you don't have enough history for your business.
Yep.
Right. And then your business must be at least 6 months old, operating right with Tradelines, reporting to Experian. You have to have Tradelines reporting to Experian, and it has to be open for about 6 months. And then you can pay it back. They have like a flexible payment thing where you can pay minimum or like 10%, 10% of the full price. But that's the main thing. What other? But you also, like, not only you have to be in business for 6 months, but you also have to be profitable, right?
Yeah. So on the low end, you got to be making at least $2,500 a month. Okay, that's super easy if you're servicing real clients. Like, that shouldn't be too hard. And then on the high end, if you're making $30,000 a month, then that's when you're probably gonna get shot up to like the 50K credit limits that they advertise on their website.
Yeah. Now the weird thing is, you can go for this if you have an escort, but this is primarily for LLCs. Why that's the case, I don't know. Sole proprietorships may not be eligible, but they cater to LLCs. That's just this is just the market. This is the information on the market. I don't know why Capital on Tap is set that way.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like it because big limit, but your business has to be open for 6 months. You have to have Tradelines report to Experian, and you have to have some monthly revenue. It's not just stagnant. They're not just giving it to people that are just having an LLC.
It has to have movement, and there's got to be money coming in. So for sure.
And then, so Capital on Tap has been the most popular one, but there's a oldie but a goodie. This one is this is up there probably with Home Depot, but I think this one beats it out. What's the third card that's EIN-based that people can look at for business funding?
It's the Sam's Club Mastercard.
Nice. Who are they backed by?
Synchrony Bank.
Nice. Okay.
So Synchrony Bank is like a small bank that pretty much underwrites most of like Target, Best Buy, those regional stores.
Yeah.
Is backed by Synchrony Bank.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And honestly, they're probably the only true EIN-only card, which means that they will not pull your credit report. You can have, terrible credit and still be able to access this card because they'll only be looking at your business credit. So they're going to heavily rely on business credit, which means that it has to be built out.
Yes.
So if you have a fresh new LLC, go back to card number 1, Nav Prime, and start building business credit ASAP if that is your goal.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And we'll talk about on the channel, like, what's a good business credit score, things like that, just because I know a lot of people are interested in business credit and they want to, maybe business owners want to shift and pivot over into that market. Yep. And so they're not really sure how to do that. And so we're going to be beefing up a lot of that content on our channel as well to explain to business owners how you do that effectively. And obviously this is not referring to people that are trying to get started. These are people that have been successful. I'm talking about successful business owners that are profitable, that are cash flowing to a certain extent, right? The Sam's Club Mastercard, the limits is around between 2K to 21,000 ish, like so from 2 to 20, depending on your trade line strength. So the more you build out your profile, the stronger it is. Obviously, the higher limits, like anything else, personal credit. The better your personal credit is, the higher potential limits you qualify for. So,
one thing to note, and I don't think we touched upon this, but by the way, none of these cards are 0%.
Yes, that's a big point.
So if you're trying to invest in something that's going to take longer than a month or 2 months to pay off, I probably wouldn't go for these cards because you're going to be paying a lot in interest. Let's say, Sam's Club gives you 21,000 and you use all 21,000. You're going to be on the hook for that plus interest for however long it's going to take you to pay that down. So be wise about how to go about maneuvering these cards. We just wanted to share what's out there. So you guys could be well informed and make the best decision.
Yeah, I know EIN-only looks good, and I know some people, they have collections, they have charge-offs, there's stuff to hit your credit because life happens, but I can't stress enough, fix your credit. Like, life is just easier if you fix your credit. Spend that money, get it right. Credit repair, I get it. It's a no man's land. You can't really determine how fast stuff comes off, what happens, but it is the most valuable resource and
asset you can have nowadays, honestly.
100% in business, especially when you start talking about like capital. Even if we're talking about business loans, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
you need to have good credit. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. So to recap, 3 business cards that don't require your personal credit, or they don't lean heavily on your personal credit. They're EIN-based, Nav, Capital on Tap, and Sam's Club Mastercard. Those are the 3 that we want to talk about. If there's others that we haven't considered, leave it in the chat. We love to talk about it on the channel and give you our 2 cents on it. But those are the biggest ones, or those are the 3 popular ones that we've seen that we were like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's comment on that. So I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into some podcast questions. So let's see. So question for you, Sue, is what does freedom or true time freedom mean to you, and how do you protect it?
True time freedom. It's a tongue twister.
That's time. So do you say true freedom?
True freedom looks like being able to do whatever I want whenever I want it.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, if I want to take Monday off and take our daughters to the park for 4 hours, I could do that.
So how do you protect it though?
Making sure I get done what I need to get done, like the priorities when it comes to, the business, making sure that I have things written down where I have a checklist of everything that I need to do, get that out the way so that I could have my time and do whatever I want to do. Nice.
I love that. That's good.
Alrighty. So for you, what's something that used to paralyze you as an entrepreneur, but now you eat it for breakfast?
Sales calls.
Yeah.
Sales calls used to freak me out, especially because I wasn't completely knowledgeable about the industry from a technician or practitioner standpoint. But yeah, now I love hopping on calls, meeting people, trying to figure out what they're interested in. And I think that's just the beauty of growth in general. But yeah, sales calls just freak me out, like telling people our prices and like, but a lot of it was just psychology, reframing my mind, trying to understand where's that fear coming from, what's the truth, and making sure I'm clear on my value, I'm clear on my intent, I'm clear on what I want out of the conversation. I'm not begging, I'm telling you if we're working together, that's what it is. And like, I think, one day at grocery store analogy, I was at the grocery store and I was like, man, I've never seen a grocery store outside of whatever discount they tell you. What stuff costs is what it costs. Like price of eggs and stuff is through the roof.
Yeah, you can't be haggling for egg prices now.
And so it was just I don't know, it was just clear as day. But I think a lot of it had to do with like, I'm not a person that would just settle with faults. I'm going to go do homework to figure out how to get better. And I've listened to a lot of high performers, a lot of like the Chris's, the Hormazis, the Goggins, the Eric Thomases, like hearing their psychology around approaching sales. Like there's the, close, but that's not it. Like I needed like the psychology of what does it take to communicate value to somebody? How do you handle objections? And I'm a big man of like principles. I'm a big man of concepts, because if those things are locked in, you can adapt to any situation. So now I don't care who's on the sales call, because I feel extremely comfortable. Yeah. I feel so comfortable that I don't need to take payment in the call. I know that if I have what you need and what we have is what you're looking for, then it's only a matter of time till we move forward.
Yeah.
So like with that type of confidence, I'm like, oh, that changes the game. It takes a lot of the pressure off. And so now, sales calls they're not hard at all. But before they were terrifying. I want to take them. But now it's light work.
So like I said, you eat them for breakfast?
Absolutely. Lunch and dinner.
Good stuff. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys tuning in for this episode of Host Financials Podcast. We look forward to continuing to give you value. If there's anything that you want to see discussed, or if you need help, if you're looking for funding for your business, some type of working capital, click the link below, go to hostfinancials.com, or click the link in the description or the pinned comment, and we would love to work with you and figure out how to help you get what you need so you can grow and scale your business effectively. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we will see you in the next one.